Hello, today I want to show you how I join two boards together using a biscuit joiner and biscuits. Not digestive biscuits, but biscuits, wooden biscuits, or plate joiners as some people call them. So let's get to it. First of all, I'm going to have to true up two boards that marry perfectly together, and then we're going to join them with these little plate joiners and with the biscuit joiner to create that, which is going to be a stair riser. So let's get to it, shall we?
Well, we're back in the workshop, and we're going to use the Dewalt radial arm saw to cut these oak boards to length. In this case, 800mm or 80cm. It's a great little tool, the Dewalt radial arm saw. Some people don't like them. They're a little bit frightened of them in some cases, but they can be quite vicious if you're not careful. So now the boards are cut to length, I need to place them next door to each other to see whether or not they are true. And as you can see, there's a gap between the two boards, but that just won't do. So I'm going to use my Stanley Bailey No. 7 jointer plane. A little bit of wax on the sole so it glides nice and smoothly. And we're going to remove the rough surface first to do the first stage of truing with the blade set to coarse. And once I'm satisfied that it is reasonably true, I'm going to make a few passes with the blade or the plane iron set to fine and take a few more shavings off. And now, using a straight edge, I'm quite happy that that is true. I move on to the second board after marking the first board. This is quite important to mark your reference faces, etc. Because if you're doing multiple glue ups, you don't want to mix the two boards with other boards. You want to make sure you keep the pairs together. The Stanley Bailey No. 7 jointer plane is a rather nice plane. It is very capable and it can create these lovely long shavings, providing you know how to sharpen your Stanley Bailey plane iron. Oh, a good cup of coffee.
Well, I'm satisfied that these are married together. What a good harmony that is too. But it's one thing I tend to do when I glue up boards together, obviously. I leave a gap in the middle. Now you might say, why would you leave a gap in the middle? Well, the reason for that is, if there's any shrinkage in the ends of the boards, effectively they will become narrower and they will pull. So if you see like tabletops, what have you, and they're splitting on the ends, that's because they haven't allowed for that extra drying on the ends of the board. So what I do is I have this little gap down the middle, touching at the ends, but a very small gap in the middle, about the thickness of a sheet of paper, that's all you need. And when it shrinks out on the ends of the board, it won't create the extra stresses and strains and create this kind of two boards that look like they've been put together with a wonk. So now I'm going to take these outside to where I've got my biscuit joiner in the sun.
So now we're outside in Studio 2 and we're going to use the biscuit joiner to joint these two boards together. And it was made popular by a well-known TV cabinet maker called Norm Abram with the New Yankee Workshop. Now this particular machine has an adjustable fence like most. So what we have to do first is to adjust the fence so that the side guide marks align with the middle of the board. The other thing we've got to do is set the depth of cut for the biscuit joiner rotary cutter. Here's my biscuit tin of biscuits. No, not digestive biscuits, just wooden biscuits. And these are made from beech. And the adjustment depends on the biscuit size that you're using. The two most common would be a number 10 and a number 20. In this case I'm using number 10s. So we've got our two boards, we married them together, and now we have to think where we want our biscuits to be. In this case I want 5 biscuits to join these two boards together. And what you do is you place the two boards together and then you create your reference marks with your pencil. I added a deflector, so the air from the fan of the biscuit joiner didn't blow dust into my eyes. If you have a look, you can see the red mark in the middle of the biscuit joiner, and that is a reference point for the middle of the cutter, hence the middle of your biscuit. Anyway, while you're here, if you can be most kind and click like and subscribe, and maybe the little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket, and that'll be me uploading another video. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 biscuits. So now we're going to have to glue them into the edges of the board, into the little slots, and you can get a special glue pot. And being the 2 pencil marks in exactly the same position, each half of the biscuit should be in exactly the same position. Applicator for this purpose, but I'm just using a stick, which isn't ideal, but it works. So we just place the pressed beach biscuits into the slots, or sometimes they're called plate joiners, but in this case we're going to call them biscuits. So there we go. I apply a bit more glue around the biscuits and making sure there's no dry spots, and tap them together to get it started, as you can see. And now I'm going to use my clamps. So these are just cheap EF clamps, and I'm using them to squeeze the balls together. F clamps aren't always the best clamp to use for this purpose because they can bend as you apply pressure, make your clamped up board untrue. So I'm going to apply some extra clamps onto this just to hold the boards to the clamp, to make it a little bit flatter, just to help hold it true. So there you go, that's jobs a good un.
Thank you for watching my little video on how to join 2 boards together using a Dewalt Biscuit joiner, or any biscuit joiner to come to that. And while you're here, if you can be most kind and click like and subscribe, or maybe the little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket, and that'll be me uploading another video. And also, a social share will be nice. Anyway, thank you for watching. Wally Bois.